This week, 14 attorneys general lost in court to prevent President Trump's evaluation of agencies for reorganization, downsizing, and elimination of waste, fraud, and abuse. They were all Democrats who argued, as Judge Chutkan noted, without any evidence of harm, that President Trump couldn't even make the reforms that don't require congressional authorization. Why would they do that? Well, for one, Democrats' last remaining reliable constituency are the public employees unions, who are bankrupting this country, who fill their campaign coffers and attend their rallies and wear their T-shirts. These public employees, mind you, make on average more, and a lot more in some cases, than private sector workers. They have greater protections and better benefits. Many of them are practically immune from accountability. They have jobs and Cadillac benefits for life. That's the reason why Chuck Schumer and his reading glasses, Pocahontas, AOC, and others are screaming and yelling outside of government buildings and threatening violence in the streets.
Your fight, my fight, our fight, and we will win this fight.
Hold your face up so they can see you. Department of Education, get a good copy of him.
We will win. We will win. We will win.
It has nothing to do with protecting your money, of course, and everything to do with protecting their most favored constituency. The other reason Democrats at the state level in particular are hyperventilating is that they're afraid that the gravy train is going to stop. That's the gravy train that you and I pay for. Many of these are states with the worst economies, the most public debt, and the most bloated budgets with the most generous welfare programs. Many of them are also sanctuary jurisdictions for illegals. Of course, there's no evidence that their funding is going to totally get cut or money wouldn't be repatriated to their states. A lot of it actually should. They just want the easiest flow of money to pay for things that their state legislatures are unprepared to handle. They want full-on central planning. Cutting the size of the federal government is a states' rights issue, after all. It's about restoring federalism. The federal government, and therefore the federal taxpayer, was never meant to be a crutch for states who didn't adequately prepare for their own expenditures. Remember, we didn't have a formal national income tax until the ratification of the 16th Amendment in 1913. It's time we got back to a strict constitutional approach to spending and taxation, a strict interpretation of the necessary and proper clause of the Constitution, as Alexander Hamilton had argued. What Republicans are attempting to do is to ensure that by some measure at least, we adhere to that standard again. It will be difficult to do, and it will take time. The federal government should be diminished, and states should not be forced to participate in some kind of Hunger Games for money tied to Washington's regulatory strings. It gives the federal government far too much power. Our founders explicitly cautioned against a potentially despotic central government. All of this spending is not a new phenomenon, of course. The growth of federal power has sapped state resources and the public for more than a century now. The expansion of federal spending in the last 50 years since the failed Great Society programs has brought the nation to the brink of insolvency. More money means more programs. More programs means more people to administer them. It also means less transparency and accountability. It's a vicious cycle, and I can tell you from firsthand experience when I was in the federal government that it's become a jobs program administered by union bosses who protect their workers at all costs to the American people. But here's a little dirty secret. You're not entitled to a government job. There's no right to employment, let alone government employment. You don't have a right to taxpayer-funded work. And in case you haven't heard, we have a budget deficit and massive, mounting national debt. It's going to require that cuts be made. The hysterical reaction by Democrats in the media is our entitlement to society on full display. It is that entitlement that has made the nation weaker and allowed it to creep toward both socialism and Gomorrah. No one is entitled to a job, period. If your dream job was being a part of, being a national park ranger or something and you got laid off because of Trump, well, that's the breaks.
The idea that this is all being done because of efficiency is kind of crazy to me. It was sad. I definitely felt lied to.
If you worked in some shadowy program in the bowels of an agency that has never demonstrated positive return for the people of this country, you need to go. And look, folks, if you're that capable, you'll find other work. And for all of the folks attracted to headlines about resignations and layoffs like moth to a flame over the last month, this is very simple. Let me break it down for you. The President of the United States runs the executive branch. He administers the laws made by Congress through the executive branch agencies. Anybody appointed by the President serves at his pleasure. If he wants to fire that person, he is legally entitled to do so. It happens all the time. U.S. attorneys, for instance, all serve at the pleasure of the President. They are routinely replaced by a new administration. There are about 4,000 presidential appointees that serve in the government, and as for the rest of the nearly 2 million civilians who work for the federal government and the additional contractors, those who are not statutorily necessary should be evaluated for elimination. Every budget and every program needs to be scrutinized for effectiveness and waste. Those who oppose that are furthering a constitutional crisis that already exists, where Washington's unelected class of bureaucracy runs the country from the top down.
If you looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative.
Elon Musk is right. If we can't get control of the administrative state and its spending, there's no sense in even having elections, and our republic will slip away. Perhaps that's what many of today's Democrats really want anyway.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.